Hey, this is Gregg Dourgarian with Tempworks Software here to share with you a message about a subject near and dear to my heart, which is how to make staffing software not just localizable, but global. So localizable and global, those are two words that software people tend to use. This localizable word means that an application could be used in a different locality. So not just, for example, in the United States, but in France. Whereas global, that's different than localizable. Not only can you use the system, set up the system to be used either in the United States or France, but that within the same company, a global staffing company could use it both in France, the United States, Russia, Japan, India, and so on. So that's the difference. Localizable is somewhat easy to do. I found that out early in my airline software career, where I'd go to, for example, Japan, and they'd say, "Greg, we really like that message you have there, but we want it in Japanese." And then I'd change it to Japanese, and then I'd take the system to China, and they'd say, "Hey, we like that message, but we want it to be in Chinese." At which point I was saying, "Well, could you non-Americans please make up your minds?" But reality is we're getting to a global economy. It's a global world. Our competitors are global in nature, and so are our customers. So it's really important for us to build our software in a global way. So I'm going to show you a couple ways that we do that. So let me take you to this screen first and show you the schema behind our applicant portal system, which basically allows companies to have their employees and candidates apply for jobs online. And you'll notice this, what is called a table right here, has a notion of culture. And so a culture could be Spanish Spain, or French, or Canadian French, and so forth, American English, all of which has a unique ID, each of those having a unique ID pointing to tables that have text, for example, that correspond to that culture. So here we have a survey system, and surveys are used by employers often in online application portals like we do to qualify candidates. If you can ask them a series of questions to determine whether they're actually suitable for the position you're recruiting for, you can eliminate a lot of the work in processing candidates. So here we've organized our surveys such that they're going to be in the language that we want the user or the user wants to use. So in this case, it happens to be a customer of ours in both Mexico and the United States. So we have both a Spanish questionnaire and an English one. So there you go. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about not just making it localizable, which this kind of points to, but global. And the way we're doing that, I'm going to take you over to a different schema. And this is for an onboarding system that we're developing for a client. And it has a little bit of a different approach. I'm going to ask you to look at this table down here, this customer status table. So customer status values in a staffing system often will have fields, names like active in English, or inactive, or prospect. But what we want to do is make it so that those same customer status values can be, for a global staffing company, customized for each instance of the application as they want to use it around the world, or even be able to handle it so that a French user who happens to be in the United States can see it in French, and all the variations in between. Well, the way we've done that is this customer status, you'll see, inherits from a table called object root. And when I click on that object root, I'll do that again, you'll see that it has associations with other tables, one of them being our user table, but another being a hierarchy table. Well, what that means is that based on what node you sit on the system, are you in the French node, or are you on the American node, or the Chinese node, and so forth, you're going to see different values. And so there we can do that because you'll point to different customer status values that are dependent on your culture. Further, if you want to override the translation, we have another override translation table, kind of a localization table. But the core ability is for a global staffing company to be able to set it up with some core parameters, yet be able to have the translations or even the business process within the nodes, the country nodes of their company, to work differently. So there you have it. I'm Gregg Dourgarian with Tempworks Software, sharing you some of the details behind the schemas we use to build our applications. Thank you very much.